if there's a game 5,
you'll come do it with us.
I'll come do game 5 with y'all. I bet. We got a deal. You never see me miss 2 free throws in a row, so you never see me miss 2 predictions in a row. Cavs
tonight, he says.
Come out with the energy.
Shaq says Cavs tonight.
We ain't going to let you sweep us. We ain't going to let you celebrate on our floor. Oh, there's Benny, there's TG,
they were all
there's Joe. What's up, Joe?
They all made it.
Oh, my goodness.
What a night.
And they were sitting together, too. That's crazy.
Game time of the finals.
Great tickets.
Welcome to our post-game coverage after a frenetic, sometimes chaotic Game 4. Shaq, it turns out, was right. Chuck's got a book travel to San Francisco for Game 5 on Monday night, as he promised on national television.
And get some piercings. Didn't he say that?
I think he mentioned that as well.
Yeah, with his shirt off and 2 nipple piercings.
See Webb's here as well. I'm Matt Weiner. Good to have you with us.
Take my hat off to the Cavaliers. They played fantastic from beginning to end. Warriors were kind of going through the motions a little bit, but take your hat off to the Cleveland Cavaliers for just balling tonight.
Well, we'll get into the analysis here over the course of however long we're here, but this was utter madness, right? I mean, this wasn't just a regular game. So many different things happened. You had 86 in the first half by the Cavaliers. That's an NBA Finals record for a half. They made 24 threes. We had an ejection that turned out not to be an ejection. We had superstar players jawing in each other's faces. So much stuff happened in this game.
Think about the first quarter that set a record. In the second quarter, I think was only 2 points less or 1 point less. So just the high scoring of the game. It was fantastic energy for this crowd the whole night.
And, you know, you just say to yourself, Cavs, where the hell have you been? Game 1 and 2, you didn't show this. Last home game, you let slip away. Now you want to start fighting? You know, it just makes you wonder where these guys have been. That's the thing that probably make me mad. We finally see arguments, disagreements, fights. We had 2 superstars in each other's grill. But we see some hard fouls, which we've been calling for.
You saw Tristan Thompson show up in this game in a big way.
He's been resting up.
And we heard Tyronn Lue say before the game about defense, and they shot the ball, but this was the first night as you see them putting Wood on Curry and other little things, touching them up foul. It's the first night it was defense.
This is what I want to see right here. We should have saw this in Game 1. Me and C. Webb used to argue. Me and Barkley used to argue.
Question for you guys. Presumably they can sustain this sort of intensity and play tough as the series moves forward. Can they play this well offensively for another game or 2? I mean, their shooting percentage was hovering around 60 for much of the night.
Well, you know, this is how they play. Sorry, Chuck. This is how they play the whole season, shooting the 3. You know, a lot of people didn't think that they could maintain this in the first 3 games. They didn't maintain it, but tonight they stepped up. Now, you know, depends on what the attitude is. Don't be happy with we didn't get swept. Now you have to go to that place and say, you know what? Let's just play the same way, and maybe we can get one. But maybe we can get one. Well, let's be fair. The Warriors didn't play tonight. I mean, we have to be somewhat realistic. They were lackadaisical. They wasn't really physically and emotionally involved in the game. I think they assumed that the Cavaliers was going to pack it in. And then when they didn't make shots, it kind of got compounded. But listen, we're not going to sit there and tell these people we think the Cavs going to come back and win this series. There's a reason when the team's been up 126-0, they're 126-0. But do you think they can get Game 5 if they play the exact same way? I do not. Shooting the ball at 60%? Because I don't think the Warriors will play like that. The Warriors didn't play tonight. Kevin played great, and that's it. There's no other person on the Warriors team that came to play tonight. Kevin was like, I'm going to win this thing. These guys were like, we're going to win this thing. But Clay and Steph, they never got involved.
Durant was really good. There was foul trouble for a number of Warriors in that first half. We thought in the third quarter that Draymond Green had gotten himself ejected because he had been credited. That's not really the word.
Let's really be honest. It was on the sheet that Draymond had to
It was
foul.
on our box score that Draymond had a technical foul in the first half.
Yes,
picked up a technical foul in the third quarter.
So when you take it off.
The explanation we got, because I asked the league, was that technical foul was really for Steve Kerr, and it was mistakenly assigned to Dre in the first half. That's what I was told.
Let me make this one point.
What does that mean?
The Warriors, when we played, when you wasn't doing something right, coach just sit Shaq down, see Webb say, hey, this ain't work. When I was in Philly, Billy Connell, best coach I ever played for,
No disrespect to Rudy Tomjanovich or Paul Westphal, my two favorites. He would sit you down and say, look at this. Draymond Green's got this. They got to put a tape together for him. The stuff he does, he's a heck of a player.
Yep.
But every foul, he is so demonstrative.
Yep.
The refs are sick of it. This guy's gonna not because they're probably gonna win this series. But going forward, he's gonna have to take a step back, like on every foul. Listen, he's lucky.
That's the one where we got the technical
No.
foul.
But he's lucky that Mike Mathis, Steve Javie, Joey Crawford. If you did
Just Kersey, who threw me out about 10 times.
Man, these guys would have every time he made one.
Hollins.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, he is so demonstrative. He got to take a step back because he fires the crowd up. We got a special guest.
We do. Kevin Love has just sat in.
Gentlemen.
This was a wild, I don't know how you would describe it, having been a part of it, but we were just talking about all the different things that happened. Not only the crazy point totals, 49 and a quarter, 86 for a half, but all the physical play, the technical foul, the scrums, the thing that happened down here at the free throw line. I mean, how would you describe being in the middle of all this?
It's bound to get scrappy eventually.
Why did y'all wait so long?
I don't know. I mean, it escapes me. We felt like we let one go in Game 3. We had a great chance to win that ball game. They executed down the stretch. We made a 2 or 3 minute game. Couldn't score the basketball, and KD was great. Had a great performance, and we just wanted to come out tonight, lay it all on the line, come out swinging. We felt like we did that, and obviously in that first quarter we were great. First half we were great. They're a great third quarter team, but we didn't let that stop us. We want to come out, make it a point. They had 6 early, a couple threes, but we just want to continue to fight, continue to push that pace, and Kyrie and Bron were special again tonight.
And what was the message in the locker room? Was the message, we don't want them to celebrate on our floor, we don't want to get swept, let's just try to take one game at a time? What was the message, and who was the main vocal guy in delivering that message?
Just if we played, we made a few changes after Game 2. It was especially on the defensive end. And we knew if we pushed the ball, those guys played downhill. We hit our three-point shots and get good looks. I mentioned we wanted to throw a haymaker tonight. We felt like we did that. We got into the ball. We forced them into tough shots. The game got a little bit chippy, so we wanted to change the game in a few different ways. And we felt like we did that more than anything. We were hitting big shots. We're getting the crowd into it. When we do that, we feel like we play really good at home, but now we're going to go into Oakland and get another one.
You guys are the only ones that has ever been down 3-1 and 1. And so the rest of the world thinks, this is over. It's easy to say that. And I'm not saying you're cocky saying it's going to be over. But you can pull something out of that reserve. Or how do you guys look at the fact you're down 3-1? Is it that we've been here before? Or we just need to win this and get back home? What's your outlook now that you've won this game?
Yeah, I think every year, every playoff series, every game is different in itself. Obviously, they're a different team. We're a different team. Both teams have gotten better, and I can go on and on and on. But now it's just one game at a time. And I know that's cliche. I know that's the thing to say. But our backs are against the wall. As you said, we've been here before, so we just got to take it game by game. We got the same mentality going to their place.
Chuck and I love when you play in the post, and you're a beautiful outside shooter. When your shot's not falling, do you think you should demand the ball in the post a little bit more sometimes?
Well, I felt like I did that in the first half of last game, and I had to fill in the blanks last game. My shot wasn't falling. I was 1 for 7 from 3, I believe. So, for me it was getting the offensive rebound, getting deflections, getting steals, just doing the extra stuff. So, it's going to be games like that, and sometimes when you shoot poorly, it doesn't exactly mean that you play poorly. So I just try to go out there, play my part, and tonight was a little bit different. We're all hitting shots.
What accounts for the 49 in the first quarter? Did you guys have any kind of a different approach? It didn't look a lot different, but the results changed.
Yeah, I think it was. I couldn't tell you how many threes we hit, how many times we got to the line, and ones. Just playing really physical on both ends. I think that's what did it, creating turnovers, and whether it was half court or pushing the pace, we were pretty damn good.
Your bench has really struggled. There's so much pressure on the big three, but your bench has really struggled this entire series. And I'm not going to ask you to call anybody out, but who do you guys really need to step up? It's not calling them out, but they just have not played well. Shannon Fry's not even playing at all, basically. Shumpert does not play well. Kyle Korver's hit a couple shots. I mean, your bench is really going to have to step up because that team plays at a much faster pace at Roracle.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the time that matchups, dictate the lineup. And, we kind of said it in the Boston series, Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, it's a far different team. But, we feel like we just need that one or two guys to step up and score the ball or make a difference. And I thought, even though he's one of our starters, Tristan Thompson came through huge for us tonight. I believe he had 5 assists. Might have had 10 rebounds. So, I mean, that was a Tristan Thompson that we know, and he stepped up big for us.
Shaq and Kenny say, I brag about you. I got a man crush on you. What do you say about that when I've just given you
Kiss Cam?
Man crush
well, first of all, what do you say about it?
Kiss Cam.
What do you say about the man crush?
How do you outlet pass like that, Kevin?
Oh, it's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. How
Only
do you do
Wes
that?
Unseld did it that well.
Yes, me and Shaq can't do that.
Oh.
But now that I'm close to him, he do have some pretty eyes. No, me and Shaq, when we're watching these games, we've been obviously all season. We're like, Shaq looks at me, Chuck, can you make that outlet pass? I said, Shaq, I'll throw my shoulder out trying to make that outlet pass. Even in my prime, how much time do you spend working on that?
Not much. I used to play, as I mentioned, guys, a few weeks back. I couldn't quite get the ball to the hoop when I was super young. So I played 3-4 grades up with my brother. And, my dad just told me to get my elbow in, shoot that ball up, but I couldn't do it. And, I kind of shot it from the chest, had a lot of accuracy. Then it became just throwing it full court. I don't know. It just came to be that way. I can't tell you.
Kevin, okay. Like right here, yes. That's
ridiculous.
Nobody does it.
Can
like
you
that.
throw a baseball or a football, or it's just basketball?
Yeah, I can throw a ball. My parents wouldn't let me play football. They said, you get your ass in that paint and you stay there.
Played baseball with Clay, right?
I was a baseball pitcher, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my dad said you got to make a decision.
do that, Chuck.
Baseball or basketball, and
It's worked
was
out.
apparent, yeah,
Worked
that
out nicely.
I was going to play basketball.
Hey, trust me, I saw your paycheck. You're doing good.
What pace do you guys like to play with? Because everybody talked yesterday or today, this week, about pace, and we were all saying that you have to be smart with how you push the ball. You just can't run wild. What do you say about your team's pace and how you guys have to play?
Well, I thought tonight we made a lot of smart decisions. We didn't turn the ball over, and I think when we play like that and we make the extra pass, the swing, and those two guys are being special in taking the ball downhill and getting to the rim. That's a pace. That's how we want to play, and that can be tricky playing against a Warriors team because they get it out in transition. KD is so good going downhill, and it's almost like their layup drill or their fast break is running to the 3-point line and getting shots, and their offensive rebound, they're tipping back. You got to stay the bodies because they're going to kick it out and hit another shot, another three, and you always see that. So they're a very tough team to play against in that respect.
Kenny, this game I was sitting behind the ESPN panel, and about 13 to 15 times these guys got open. I don't know your defensive scheme. Are you switching everything? You're supposed to call it, screen over, but a lot of times they're getting open to getting easy shots.
Well, all they need is a split second. I mean, KD, he's so long. Obviously, his stature, he can shoot right over you depending on who's on him. So when we switch and we get in the body, he can just pull up from 23, 25 feet and shoot right over you. Clay is no different. I mean, he's obviously a tough matchup, and all they need is that boom split second. Steph's the same way. I know he had a tough shooting night tonight, but we got to expect them to shoot better and play better at home.
Nice job. Way to stop perfection.
Not only just noticed in my eyes, got some little fluffy hair up there too.
How does he smell, Chuck? Kiss Cam. Kiss Cam.
Hey, Chuck, once you go Kevin, it's like you're living in heaven.
No way.
Great job, man. Appreciate it. Great job.
Kevin Love, 23 points, 6 of 8 from three-point range, 6 of the finals record, 24 threes for the Cavaliers tonight. Congrats. We'll see you by the Bay. Let's get it inside. Steve Kerr at the podium.
Brian Mahoney, Associated Press. Steve, did you know you had been called for a technical foul in the first quarter, and did you find out then, or did you not know until later?
I thought they called it on Draymond. I thought I deserved it. But I thought I heard the announcer say, the PA announcer say that it was on Draymond. So then I thought the second one, Draymond was going to get kicked out, but they explained that the first one was on me.
Right here. 1, 2, 1.
Ann Killian with the San Francisco Chronicle. You said before the game we've got to defend like crazy.
Yeah.
That didn't really seem to be happening at the. What went wrong there?
Well, first of all, I give them a ton of credit. I mean, they made some tough shots. They made 24 threes, and we knew that we weren't going to keep them quiet from the three-point line the whole series. They made some tough shots, but we were not sharp defensively. It's always a combination. It's never one thing. So our defense was not sharp. They made tough shots. They got it rolling. I thought they played a tremendous game. I think the biggest thing, though, is they brought a level of physicality that we did not match, and we have to do a better job with that.
Did you have any feeling that perhaps your team, was aware of history in the building and might have come out a little tentative, or?
I don't think there was any concern or thoughts about history. I think it was we played a desperate team on their home floor, a great team with great players. And they came out and handed it to us. Simple as that.
Tim, standing on the left.
Tim Kawakami, Mercury News. Steph almost went scoreless in the first quarter. I don't know when that has happened. Was that a matter that were they taking him away, and were there no counters to that? What did you think of his offensive performance?
Obviously, it wasn't his night. Started slow. We had some turnovers early, a couple careless ones, and he just didn't get it going. It was just one of those nights.
And what did you make of that third quarter? A whole lot of stoppages,
yeah.
A whole lot of conversations. There were scuffles. Did that just slow you down? Did that do anything to you guys? The fact that there were so many stops, it took so long that third quarter?
It was just an incredibly physical game. That was obvious from the beginning. Ton of fouls called early. A lot of holding and grabbing and pushing and shoving, and it just got out of hand a little bit. And the third quarter seemed like the game was stopping every time.
Kenny on the right.
Steve, Kenny Roden, WHBC. After one day off and LeBron and Kyrie playing so many minutes the other night, were you thinking the same thing tonight, that they might run out of gas and that you guys would be able to come back, or no?
I was hoping they'd get tired, but they didn't seem to get tired tonight. They were phenomenal. Both guys played tremendous games. Really did some amazing things one-on-one, making shots. And then they got a lot of contributions from others, too. I thought, JR got going, and Richard Jefferson gave them good minutes. And it's a great team effort for Cleveland.
And why was Tristan able to impact the game tonight when he really hasn't been able to prior to this?
Steve Kerr and the Warriors no longer have perfection in front of them, still have a finals to win. It only takes one more victory, and they're headed back home for Game 5 on Monday night. We'll stick here in Cleveland to wrap up our post-game coverage. Plenty more coming.
Game Time, live from the NBA Finals, is presented by State Farm. Here to help life go right.
This was a wild, wild Game 4. Warriors seeking perfection. Cavaliers just trying to keep it going. And Dwayne Wade, what has happened to Dwayne Wade?
Hold on. He look like MC Gusto.
Come on, man. The internet said he looked like a Haitian drug lord.
On that play, by the way, LeBron passed Michael Jordan. LeBron passed Michael Jordan for third in final scoring history. Kevin Love.
Listen, the Cavs came out with a lot of energy. They said, you know what, we don't want these guys to celebrate on our floor.
Yeah.
And, they stuck with their game plan. Live by the three, die by the three. Tonight they live by the three.
But look, they cut too, Shaq.
Yeah, they
moved without the ball. Love had 14 in the first half. LeBron.
They dominated in the paint, too.
They scored 49 in the first quarter.
But I thought they did a good job of just taking the ball down low. Something we've been calling on them to do.
Kevin Durant had 22 in the first half. And one there. Got him within 11.
He was the only one who played tonight. And Steve Kerr said it. We didn't have any defensive intensity. You want to hear an interesting stat, Matt?
Sure.
I was in the back with Bones at halftime, and he said that at the first half, Golden State didn't have any fast break points. Zero.
Well, it's just Cleveland was shooting like 60%. Hard to run that way.
I have to agree with Chuck, though. I think that, when you look at this game, we definitely have to give Cleveland. Cleveland took the game. They won, right? But
Stephen A. Smith is court.
So many easy shots and didn't play there.
Well, they melded in tonight thinking it was over. Anytime you give up 49 points in the first quarter and 80 at the half, you are not in it. They gave up 86 points in the first half.
49, 86 to 154, all NBA Finals records. Second half.
The boys had that champagne on ice.
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
An all-star game is breaking out.
Yes, it is. That was a great play right there.
Dunked over his own player. Tristan tries to go up for it. He's like, no, I need
this. It's a travel, too. You saw that?
That's close.
Boy, this is the NBA. We don't call traveling.
I agree with you, Chuck. Golden State play like luck. If we win it, but if not, guess what? We're going to be at the crib. We ain't never won it at the crib before. We got it.
I think the refs right here, this was a kind of, they call it flagrant.
That wasn't flagrant.
But the one Draymond had later in the game was more flagrant on Tristan Thompson, yes.
And I thought the refs could have did a better job. Like, they're supposed to break,
LeBron said, why are you talking so crazy, though?
Well, I like that.
Yeah, I liked it, too.
It's about time they start competing.
Great ball movement. Thank you.
Kyle Korver.
Thank you.
We've been knocks down the
knockdown shooter. Thank you.
Step back.
Man, this would be a great series if it was 2-2, wouldn't it?
And the Cavaliers got to feel like it should have been. With that late lead they blew, or couldn't hold in Game 3.
Man. Ooh. Klay Thompson was 4 for 11. Steph Curry was 4 for 13. That's not going to happen often.
I tell you what, Cleveland in the next game, they better weather the storm. Them boys going to come out on fire.
Cavaliers. Warriors dominated the first two third quarters of this series. Cavaliers won this one 29-28.
And that's the loudest arena in the NBA. Yeah. That thing is going to be yellow and on fire. Man, Grant Hill got some big old ears on the sideline over there.
137, 116.
He heard you too.
In the final
satellite ears.
He can tell us what the Cavaliers are saying in the locker room from out here.
LeBron James recorded his 9th Finals triple-double, passing Magic Johnson, or separating himself from Magic Johnson, most ever in NBA Finals history. Kyrie goes for 40 on the night on 7 of 12 three-point shooting. Finals record 24 threes for the Cavaliers as a team. Yes, Grant heard you, by the way. So where do we go from here? I mean, obviously, we go, and Chuck's coming with us because he said so.
Shirtless.
Oh. You're not coming?
I'm not coming.
We go to San Francisco to get the piercings. They got a lot of good tattoo shops in San Francisco.
I tell you what I am doing, and I'm being serious for a second.
I'm going to text you. What you going to do?
I'm going to a fat farm for the next 6 weeks.
That ain't going to help you.
It's going to help me.
You ain't dedicated.
I believe so. You're going to be straight.
Yeah,
I thought you were going on vacation.
No, I'm going to a fat farm.
We're on vacation first, Chuck.
I'm vacation first. Listen, I'm embarrassed how fat I have become. I have become lazy. Number one, I'm not healthy. Y'all not going to see me. I got to come back for that award show. But I'm taking the next 6 weeks to get my fat ass in shape. Not around any, so I don't drink. I got to eat healthy and I got to work out. So I'm disappearing until I see y'all.
You're being serious right now.
I'm being serious, yeah.
Where you going, to Duke?
Good for you.
No, down to San Antonio.
Okay.
With all them other big women.
As soon as you said that, I knew we were coming right back around there.
No, but I'm being serious now. I'm being very serious. So, but, it's something I need to do because I'm not healthy. I'm not getting any younger. And one thing you don't see a lot of fat old people.
Well, good for you.
Yeah. We love you, man. We wish you the best.
Yeah, but I got to get healthy, man.
Yeah, get losing.
Just for the record, you want me to get a 2-for-1 deal, you can go 2.
I'm already healthy, Chuck. I got a 5-pack. It's coming in. Coming in.
Yeah, transition that, Matt.
Not a great segue for that, is there? We're going to go to break. Then we'll come back and we'll talk basketball again.
But Chuck is bringing sexy back for the big fellas, baby.
Next season when I get back, I'm going to be so sexy.
Chuck is bringing sexy back.
I ain't going to even need the makeup because y'all just be saying, damn, Chuck look good.
I got something that can help you, Chuck.
Get the win tonight. They're back in the series. And we're back at it.
The open part of the open court is about really just being candid.
Who's the best point guard of the 1980s, Isaiah?
Come on, Zeke.
LeBron James, and technically neither one is an assist for LeBron. It's kind of the hockey assist here as Tristan Thompson sets up the three-pointer in the corner behind the back. And then the assist that really wasn't an assist because it was a pass to himself off the backboard a la All-Star Weekend.
Wait,
street ball.
actually, do we count that as an assist?
No, that does not count.
What about a rebound?
As a shot.
Does it count as a rebound?
And a rebound and a bucket.
Okay.
Yeah. 24 made threes tonight for the Cavaliers on 45 attempts. We already mentioned the 24 is an NBA Finals record. Were they just shooting the ball better tonight, or were they getting better looks somehow based on what they were doing?
I think they were getting better looks because we have to give the Warriors defense no credit on some of these, but also I think it was just desperation, and they came out and they knocked down some big shots. I think you just have to give them credit for not being afraid to take some of these shots, and then, like you say, a lot of it, or like I just said, a lot of it was just open looks for this team. But LeBron getting those assists, I mean, the one in the paint off the backboard is different, but right here, he was in the post posting up, and when he does that, it takes so many eyes to put on him that, of course, you're going to have somebody open because one of the strongest players in the world is in the painted area, and it's an easy shot, so he should do more.
You know what's interesting to me? He posts up Iguodala, but he doesn't post up Kevin Durant.
And Durant is lighter.
He's lighter, like 20, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
And we're screaming, go in the post, go in the post. But for some reason, he tries to post up Iguodala, who's probably weighs closer than he weighs. I would love to see him and Kevin Love go in the post more. Because that'll free up those three-point shooters. Because, number one, you're going to get Kevin in foul trouble. Maybe Draymond get in foul trouble. But the main thing, they're not going to let him get in foul trouble, but they're going to double him. Get open threes.
And Matt, with a game of this magnitude, they came out desperation style. They shot the ball well, got a huge lead.
Auctions.nba.com, your premier source for NBA.
We can make a few mistakes in a row, and that right there allowed them to continue to shoot the ball.
Shaq has a great point because if you go back and look at the last game, even though LeBron and Kyrie were going crazy, they were still down.
Right.
Yeah. So that pressure is mounting. And then they finally caught up them with exhaustion, and they couldn't make a basket here or there. When you get rolling like that, Shaq has a great point. When you get rolling like that, it frees you up.
Even though they got 94 out of their big three, one of you said it during the highlight. There was better ball movement tonight and better player movement without the ball from the Cavaliers. What started that, and where was it the first three games?
It's desperation, and I'm saying you just have to be disciplined against the great Lakers teams, against the great Phoenix teams. You have to be disciplined. You can't come down and say, Charles hit a three, I'm going to hit a three. And you saw it tonight. It was those cuts. It was those little things that get you to make the hockey assist. And so I think it was in their style of play. But you have to trust each other, and that's going to be interesting on the road. When you're down 8, when you're down 7, will you not try to just take a three and hoist it yourself? Will you make a cut for an extra person? Because Golden State doesn't really have a post-up player because Durant doesn't post up. But their post-up plays come through layups and backdoor cuts, so they still get those in those shots in the paint. So I look for them, hopefully, to try to keep that going, making cuts, doing the extra pass, and see what happens.
Over the course of the season and the postseason, Golden State actually posts up more than Cleveland, just not necessarily to score. They use it out of the high post.
But that's the one point I wanted to make. What Shaq said, what Chuck said, excuse me, Chuck, when you said that you want Kevin Love and them to post up, I think what people don't understand is that, let's just say Kevin Love makes 2 post-up moves. If he goes right to the post the next time, 2 guys are coming at him. You don't even have to try to score.
Absolutely.
So it's about, can you score and then be the decoy inside the post, and that's what he means, I think.
I'm a fan of that. I always feel like it's the fastball, it's the running game in football, it's the fundamental thing that kind of sets up other stuff.
Because that's why I think I want to see Kevin in the post more because, listen, Draymond's a good player, but Kevin Love's a good player also. But the big one to me is LeBron. If he would post up against Kevin Durant, number one, it'd wear him down on the other end some, but nobody can handle him, and it would force them to double. And that, like I said, that's going to free up JR. That's going to free up Shumpert. Because when you played against Shaquille, you had to double him, or he's gonna get a layup, a foul, or a good shot. All great post players, it's always a win-win-win. 3 wins. You're going to get a good shot, you're going to get foul trouble, or you're going to get double teamed. It's always can work.
And to add on to what Chuck is saying, you have to put pressure on the defender.
Yes.
You know, Kevin Durant is averaging 34. He's hiding a lot on defense, and not only that, LeBron is letting them off the hook. So, you know, when Chuck says, you know, we need to get him in the post, you need to get him tired, get him in foul trouble, wear him out, you need to go back at him. You know, you need to make him play both ends. Don't just let him come down and, you know, shoot pull-up threes all the time.
So LeBron James now 4-4, facing elimination in the NBA Finals. We spent a bunch of time talking about pace of play over the last couple of pregame shows in particular, and I know you asked Kevin Love about it. Two teams each took 87 shots, which is not a ton, but they also took 1 million free throws in this game. 84 to be exact, if my math is right. Well, it seemed that the Cavaliers came out at an impossible pace the first 5-6 minutes of the game, then slowed down in the second quarter.
But, you know, Matt, you know, you heard Steve Kerr talk about it, you heard Kevin talk about it. Why you wait to get down 3 to start getting physical?
Right.
And that's where all the free throws come from.
Right.
It should have been physical from game 1. The reason you're physical from game 1, by the time you get to game 4, those little bruises, they add up, sore muscles, you don't feel as springy. That's what happened. Think about it. Last year, they started beating the hell out of Steph. After the first couple games, he wore down. But now, I think it's too little, too late.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same way. And I think that the pace of play is going to be important. Getting the post is going to be important. But I also think, let me go back to the post, you put the referees in a tough position. You know, they're going to make some bad calls in there. You're not going to get fouled sometimes. Right. And they're going to call them those type of things. And so if you can keep that and wear down, guys get hurt, guys get tired in the game. And if you can keep that in, like you said, it's like the running game for football. And if you don't keep that, it's really hard to impose your will shooting jump shots and fadeaways.
This was not a fun game to officiate. I can tell you that.
And it wasn't a great officiated game.
Maybe not, but it was also not an easy game to officiate.
It was done beautifully. What you talking about?
I don't know about that, but Kyrie Irving is inside after a 40-point game 4.
Here, some chatter going on throughout, you know, the Warriors locker room in terms of them trying to, you know, end it here. And, you know, it was another do-or-die game for us, and we had to leave it all out there. You know, I was quoted in saying that there was no other option, and that was completely true. And that still stands. You know, we still have to go up there, Game 5, which is going to be unbelievable. Unbelievable atmosphere. We know they're going to come out with a hit-first mentality, but we got to hit them first. And, you know, relish in the challenge, and you know, welcome all challenges that we'll be faced with throughout the game. But you know, glad that we got the monkey off our back in terms of just getting one win in this series, in terms of going against this great team. But you know, you don't want to ever take it for granted. You know, we'll watch film and see where we can get better.
Kenny standing on the right.
Kenny Rhoda, WHBC, 49 points in the first quarter, a record. How was that ice bath, okay?
Yeah, I just got out of it again. I apologize to all you guys, but yeah, go ahead.
49 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
What was it about tonight's first quarter that was so different from the previous 3?
Well, we slowed the game down within the realms of the way we were playing, but it was still high tempo. We got to the free throw line, we got in the bonus early, and then we got some easy free throws and some easy ones, and then you include that with our pace. It was hard for them to keep up with us tonight. You know, it's the first time all series, but you know, we just kept attacking, and understood, you know, that they were never going to quit. You know, KD was just unbelievable again tonight, and as well as you know, some of their other guys. But we just try to limit them and make them feel uncomfortable. You know, force them into some tough shots, and then you know, push and transition. Then one thing that was important for our, you know, success tonight was just our limit of turnovers. And you know, when we don't turn the ball over and we don't give them fast breaks, then it allows us to set up our half-court defense and everyone get matched up. So you know, we took some steps in the right direction, but we definitely took some things that we did correctly in Game 3, carried over to Game 4.
And we've talked about this before, adversity. You guys in adversity doesn't get much more adverse than basically having to win 4 Game 7s. Well, why do you guys thrive on that?
I don't know. I wish I had a true answer for that, but every game is do or die, and we understand that. And you know, we're ready to live in it. And it was great to see, you know, Kyle as well as Darren as well as T-Top just throw themselves in tonight's game and understand the importance of it. And you know, this is the finals, man. you know, a minute here, 4 minutes here, rebound here, maybe a tech or two here. It matters. And, you know, they brought it tonight. I'm super proud of those guys, of all my teammates, but more or less those guys coming in and just giving us energy, as well as RJ coming in playing huge. And then everybody just collectively coming together, you know, so it was good.
Third row.
Dan Feldman, NBC Sports. You mentioned the chatter coming from the Warriors. Was there anything that was said that particularly rubbed you the wrong way?
I mean, all of it. I mean, it's just, you know, it's part of the game. I understand that. But, you know, we knew what we were faced with. That was what it was. But then you add, of course, you know, some chatter in there. And, you know, that adds some extra motivation. You give us a day in between. And, you know, we were ready to come out, especially me, because that taste wouldn't have been the same if we would have lost tonight and they would have celebrated on our home floor. So, you know, I'll just leave that at that.
Is that something that you took individually?
Cavaliers, regardless of what happens from here on out, have to take some satisfaction that they spoiled perfection and kept the Warriors from winning here in Cleveland for the second time in 3 seasons. And when Kyrie is facing elimination, he's been pretty good.
You know, he just set the bar for himself. I can remember my first finals. I was having a conversation with Magic Johnson. Magic told me,
name drop,
you need to average 40 points. So Kyrie, 41 points, 23, 26, and 40. Needs to average 40. And LeBron needs to be in that 39, 40 range. Kevin Love needs to shoot the ball well, and the guys need, and then they have a chance. But hey, Oracle's going to be so loud.
And most importantly,
those guys will come out so aggressive.
Wins in all 5 of those
so
games.
Focused.
We're so not done. Cavaliers ended perfection for the Warriors. We're going to Game 5 on Monday night. And LeBron James passed Magic Johnson for the all-time finals triple-double lead with his 9th tonight, as LeBron went for 31 points, 10 boards, and 11 assists. What did you think of his work tonight?
Well, you know, he's always been a great player since day one coming in the league. He came out, he set the tone. Kyrie also set the tone. You know, the guys just, you know, when you're desperate, your back's against the wall, you really have nothing to lose. So they came out, got a big lead, maintained the lead. You know, LeBron got a few minutes of rest. So, you know, the guys, you know, continue to hit shots. But, hey, LeBron's a great player. He's always been doing great things. And congratulations to him for being the guy who has the most triple-doubles in NBA history.
He was able to stay under 41 minutes tonight after playing nearly 46 in Game 3. He always talks about, you know, reading the game and playing essentially the same sort of way regardless of the situation. Did you see anything different about his approach tonight?
Not really. He is, you know, when everybody talk about Michael Jordan, to me he is a pass-first guy.
Yes.
He'd rather have a triple-double than score 40 points. He's been a privilege and a pleasure to watch him. I wish people would stop in all sports comparing, trying to figure out who's better than who. This kid, to me, I think it's one of the greatest stories in sports. For this kid to come to the NBA at 18 years old, live up to the hype, all these years later, he's won some championship. But the thing about it, he's never made, I mean, other than the decision people didn't like, he has never been in close to trouble.
Right.
I think it's one of the most amazing stories in sports history, because not many guys can handle 18, all the stuff and fame, as long as he's handled it, and never even came close to getting in trouble. His story is remarkable to me.
He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was, I think, 16. I mean, he's been scrutinized.
Shaq been on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
I'm just saying. It goes back even further.
I'm just kidding.
We're not impressed, man.
Yeah, come on, man. We've been on there too.
Steph Curry and Kevin Durant are at the podium inside. There they are. Let's hear from them. They're up 3-1.
First question here on this second row here.
Steph, down here on the right, Ray Jasky from ESPN on 90. You really struggled with your offense tonight. Can you describe why, what wasn't working for you, what they were doing defensively, and just how you had such a tough night yourself?
It was one of those games. I mean, not going to overreact to one. It's obviously can play better and want to play better and will play better. And I think in the first quarter we, as a team, weren't able to establish ourselves with the way that quarter went on both ends of the floor. So, they played with their backs against the wall. They had a free swing at it, and it was one of those nights where we just didn't have anything clicking. So, looking forward to getting back out there on Monday and playing better.
Ann, same row.
Ann Killian with the San Francisco Chronicle. For both you guys, kind of following up on that, was there anything that was remarkably different in the way they were attacking you offensively that took you out of your defensive game?
I think they did a good job. You hear me? Oh, sorry. I think they did a good job of attacking early, and that opened up the three-point game, and they made some tough ones, and they also, just caught caught them in rhythm and knocked them down. That's the team they've been all season, is knocking down deep shots and difficult shots as well. But if you give them some open ones like we did early on, they're going to knock them in at some point. So we got to be better. I mean, after that first quarter, they're only up, 4 points. Just from the second to the fourth, they only beat us by 4 points the last three quarters. So that first quarter, they came out and hit us with that, amazing punch. 49 points in the first quarter is way too much. But you got to give them credit. They played extremely well tonight.
Marcus standing on the right.
Steph, you guys have lost before. Does this feel any different considering you haven't lost in a while, and also this kind of sets up another 3-1 going back home and a reminder from last year?
Man, different team, man. Obviously, we've haven't felt this feeling walking off the court with a loss in a while. But we've done a good job of bouncing back and being resilient all year, and obviously learning from all different experiences we've been through. I love the vibe we had in the locker room after the game, understanding what we need to do differently to play better, to have a better first punch in that first 6 minutes, to play with more force and aggressiveness and physicality. And talked about it, going home is a good feeling, but it has to go with playing better. We obviously know you can't just go home and expect to win, and we like the fact that we can correct a lot of things going into Game 5 and just put a better foot forward, especially in that first quarter, and not lose the game right there.
Kevin, you and LeBron had a nice exchange. That just good playoff conversation?
Yeah, I mean, you can't take everything away from the game. You're taking the hard fouls out of the game, calling them flagrants, taking a lot of stuff out of the game, but you can't take the emotion out of the game. And we wasn't coming to blows. We were just talking, and that's a part of basketball. The game of basketball created that. You know what I'm saying? The refs didn't, we didn't as players. It's like the aura of the game created trash talk and just communication out there, you know what I'm saying? So I know you could take away the physical part of the game as far as, controlling stuff, but emotionally, like, that should be us. That should be what the players have as their own out there. So I'm sure it's going to continue. It's nothing malicious, or we didn't say anything malicious. It's just a part of the game. Like I say, emotions are, what keeps this game alive. It keeps it going. It's for the players.
Dan, Kenny, and Mark, last three.
Dan Feldman, NBC Sports. Steph, I'm sorry we keep asking you about squatting, but while Draymond and Steve were arguing with the ref when one of them got the technical, it looked like you squatted down. And were you just stretching there? And what did Richard Jefferson say to you?
You serious right now?
You gotta be better.
People are curious.
Come on now, man. This is crazy.
You gotta be better than that.
People are curious.
I really don't have an answer for that. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
What did Richard Jefferson say to you?
I have no idea. I don't remember what situation you're talking about, but yeah.
You gotta be better, bro. I'm sorry. God. I like you, but you gotta be better.
Kenny,
I'll take the compliment.
Standing on the right, Kenny.
Steph, Kenny Rhoda, WHBC. The physicality tonight obviously different than the first three. How much different, and how much of that was a factor in them coming out and leading by 16 in the first quarter?
That was pretty much the fact in the first quarter. They got to the free throw line 20-something times and slowed the pace down. Granted, I mean, you could nitpick each call, but they were the aggressor to begin with, and usually the aggressor gets the favorable whistle. So we understand that going forward. And historically against this team, when we don't answer that punch in the first 6 minutes, we put ourselves behind the 8-ball, and no matter how well we play after that, it takes a miraculous rise to try to get back in the game. So, we got to understand that. You like that?
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you. We have to understand that going forward, that, whoever's the aggressor to begin with sets the tone for the game, gets the pace to where you want it, and good things happen out of that. So, got to watch the film and understand how it went down and do something about it on Monday.
And Kevin, with
Steph Curry, you got approval there from Kevin. Yes?
Can they put that stat back up there?
Which stat?
About the last time the Golden State Warriors lost.
Oh, they've lost. That was the second time in 32 games.
No, but the date. It
was April 10th.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Because
been almost 2 months.
I know. Tomorrow, June the 10th, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's the second loss in 32 games going back to the regular season. That's how good they've been. Strangely, and that's ongoing, they weren't asked about the chance that they're no longer perfect in the playoffs and missed this golden opportunity.
Well, I don't think they care, because I think tonight.
Oh, I think they cared a little.
No,
you don't think they cared about being 16-0?
If they cared, they wouldn't.
Not as much as the championship. You don't think they cared about that?
No, because
I don't buy that.
They didn't come up. They gave up 50 points the first quarter.
They did do that.
They did not. They were going through the motions. They gave up 50 points the first quarter. They didn't play tonight. Listen, no disrespect to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Steve Kerr said it. These guys said it. We can come out to play tonight. We had no defensive intensity, no defensive energy. They thought the champs was going to pack it in, but like he says, dude, we're not going to overreact to one game. They're in the driver's seats, and all these fools out there are going to be talking about 3-1 last year. They got Kevin Durant. This ain't the same team, and Jan Stenerud ain't going to be out there kicking people.
Jan Stenerud, he's back.
He's back.
He's back in the post-game show. Well, I thought it was interesting that they were asked about their offensive game tonight. In a game in which they gave up 49 in the first quarter. That was not their main issue. Offense.
Wasn't their main issue. I agree with Chuck. They didn't come to play. Again, they play like, you know what, we'll just come out, see what happens. If we win, good. If not, we get to go to our place and shut it out. Because, they've never won on their floor. So,
right.
They have a good opportunity to take it there. But I have to disagree with Chuck. I think they did care. I think they wanted to be the first team to go 16-0 because a lot of people has already given them, the accolades of the best team ever. And if you're 16-0, you have a good argument. But now my record is safe.
It was so interesting hearing Curry though say, we know when we get punched in the face the first 6 minutes, and we're going to come out. These two already said, I'm just going to repeat it. Roracle, the first 10 minutes of the game,
gonna be crazy.
Do not miss it, because I think, forget the 16-0. I think now they're like, oh, y'all think y'all can score 49 in the quarter?
Yeah.
Ooh, wait till you get the Splash family. And so it's going to be interesting those first few minutes.
Yeah, they were complaining that Clay said after game 1 or 2, we could score 140 points. That might be in danger.
Yeah.
That might be in danger. They're going to try to blow the scoreboard up.
As they always do, and Roracle will be insane. It's one of the great venues in the entire league. Was before the Warriors got really good, and it's just even more so now. Chuck called for it pregame, and it came to pass. Somehow they all showed up tonight.
Great season.
God, he's standing up though. He on the court.
Folks who missed the pregame show have no idea what we're talking about right now, by the way.
Gandhi about to get a
This was Chuck's keys to the game. All these people had to be at the game.
They all showed up tonight.
They all were there, either physically or maybe just in spirit. It worked for the Cavaliers. They live for a Game 5. Fellas, enjoyed it. Safe travels. Postgame continues after the break.
Double in the finals. That is now an all-time record. His team stays alive. 137-116. Here he is at the podium as we will head to Oakland on Monday.
First question, back left.
LeBron, Joseph Pacharo, the scorer. I was just wondering if you could take us through kind of what's going through your head and how the play developed, the one where you went off the glass to yourself.
I think it was a transition play, and I believe it was Kyle on my right side that was running the wing, and two of their players were back, and I was trying to engage one of them so I could get Kyle a shot in the corner, and they both went to Kyle, I believe, and I got caught in the air. So that's the only thing I could think of. I didn't want to travel, and Draymond was kind of playing double T, and double T kind of had his back towards me, so just threw it off the glass and went and got it.
Fourth row back, sorry.
LeBron, Spencer Davies, Basketball Insiders. Just the way you guys came out in that first quarter where Tristan's establishing the tone of the game, J.R. Smith's hitting some big threes. How can you ensure that you bring that same kind of mentality on the road in Oracle and just seeing what you guys were capable of doing that?
Well, we're gonna watch the film. When we get to Golden State, and we want to see ways we can be better. We didn't play, our type of game, game 1 and game 2, and if we don't do that, if we play like we played in game 1 and game 2, the series is over. So we have to continue to play how we played at home. We have to be physically, be physical at the point of attack. We got to continue to move the ball, share the ball, and tonight we had 27 assists, and that's very key.
And the first 3 games, you guys kind of struggled from beyond the arc, hit 24 tonight. Just how different of a team are you guys when you're just knocking those perimeter shots down?
That's part of who we are. We set a lot of records since we kind of assembled this team the last couple of years, and that's part of who we are. We got guys that can stretch the floor and make big shots, and they did that tonight from Kai, Kevin, and Swish, and everybody else chipped in as well.
Chris up front.
Chris Haynes, ESPN. Ron, did you talk with your teammates and before the game and just stress, like, we're not going out like that, to something along those lines?
I didn't hear it, but some of the other guys heard it and told me that, that they wanted to, they wanted to celebrate on our floor once again, and, they wanted to spray champagne in our locker rooms, and, I think it came from Draymond, which is okay. That's Dre anyways. But so I just told guys I didn't stress anything besides just live in the moment. Live in the moment. We have a great opportunity to to give ourselves another opportunity to keep going. And we played well in Game 3, well enough to win, and we just didn't do it. But tonight we came out and we stuck to the game plan our coaching staff put together, and this is close to a 48-minute game we played in the postseason. And even in the first first 3 rounds, this was close to a 48-minute game if we played, and it was big for us.
Again in the front.
Sherry from Tencent, China. How important is that everybody standing out for the game, and also do you finally feel that tonight you guys are who you are?
Well, I think the last 2 games we've played Cavaliers basketball, we've been physical. We haven't turned the ball over, and we've shared the ball. And like I said, in Game 3, we just, down the stretch, we couldn't make any shots, and they did. And now it's just some make-or-miss league at that point. So, the last couple of games we've been playing Cavaliers basketball, and it's resulted in us just playing better and us getting this win tonight.
Mark in the middle.
LeBron, Mark Schwartz, ESPN. It kind of looks like deja vu all over again. You guys going back west, down 3 games to 1. Do you have these guys just where you want them?
No, they got us where they want us. No, I don't. Listen, at the end of the day, we want to try to put ourselves in position to play another game. And we did that tonight, and hopefully we can do it Monday night where we can come back here. So, our mindset is try to go up there and get one, which is probably one of the toughest environments we have in this league, along with our building. And, so we look forward to the challenge and the matchup.
Dan, back right.
Dan
Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. 40 more tonight for Kyrie. LeBron coming off of the difficult end to Game 3, big performance from him. Did you feel that he was going to be able to bounce back in a big way after that tough end to Game 3? And what else did you see from him tonight?
He's just been very special in closeout games, and either we on both sides, us being able to close out, or a team trying to close out on us. He's just been built for that moment. I've said that over and over again, that he's always been built for the biggest moments, and tonight he showed that once again. It's not surprising. Yeah, he's just that special.
Dave, left side, second row.
Dave McMenamin, ESPN. LeBron, whether it's adversity or desperation or intensity, this group, as we've seen it the last couple of years, seems to always respond to it. What is in your guys' makeup that allows you to only have that really come out in these situations?
I don't know. I mean, I don't like it. It causes too much stress, man. I'm stressed out. Keep doing this every year. But listen, at the end of the day, we just got some resilient guys. I mean, the Warriors have championship DNA, and we do as well. And, we battle tested, they're battle tested, and, getting swept is something that you never want to, happen, and, especially at this point, you get all the way to the finals. You hate to get swept, lose 2 games on your home floor. So I think a lot of guys had that in their mind today, and, they came out and played like it.
And a quick follow-up. Physically, are you okay? We saw you getting some treatment after the game.
I'll be all right on Monday. I'll be all right on Monday.
Scott up front.
LeBron, Scott Sargent, WFNY. A couple of years back, obviously, Andy was kind of that spark plug energy-wise. How different is it now when Tristan can play the game that he was able to play tonight versus the last 3 games from just a collective team-wide energy standpoint?
I mean, he's a big piece of our puzzle. I mean, we all know that. I mean, he's been huge for our success the last 3 years, and they've done a great job of, putting him in the game plan, and neutralizing what he does best, and that's offensive rebound and giving us extra possessions. And, it's been very tough on him in this final so far. But he didn't get down on himself. I mean, he came through when we needed him the most, and that was tonight, getting 10 rebounds and also dishing out 5 assists. So it was big time.
He's a professional, but you've referred to him before as your little brother. Have you had any talks with him over the last 3 games after any sort of frustration or struggles in regard to being ready for a Game 4?
Yeah, I have. I'm not here to tell you guys what I've been talking to him about but he know what I expect out of him, and like I said tonight, he, when we needed the most, he was there.
Joe, fourth row and left.
Joe Vargan, Cleveland.com. LeBron, after Game 3 being such a letdown, did you have to work into believing that something like tonight was possible? And if you did, when did you get to that point?
No, I didn't have to work into believing it. At the end of the day, I had the same game day ritual. And I slept great last night. I came to shoot around, got my work in. I went home, took my usual pregame nap, got up, ate my pregame food, came to work. I didn't feel anything, actually. I was just excited about the moment. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you come to work and you put in the work and you study the game for myself, and you do everything to put yourself in a position to succeed. I mean, there's no reason to add any more pressure to it. And I'm not saying it was a result of a win, because I've done the same thing for a long time now, but for myself, just being able to just stay even keel no matter the situation I think it's good for our ball club.
Fourth row over here.
LeBron, Michael Bevan with the Akron Beacon Journal. This game lasted almost 3 hours, and you had a triple-double.
Where you at?
Over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This game was, it had a little bit of everything. Do you feel as emotionally and mentally drained as you did the last game when you guys lost?
I'm about there. And it lets me know that I did what I was supposed to do when I'm emotionally and physically drained at the end of a finals game. And if I'm not, then I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So that would be it's 2 games in a row where I felt like that, and now I got to get my mind ready, once again.
Front row here.
Valeria Rubino, Viaggio Sport. LeBron, the NBA life means a lot of traveling. Do you have a particular routine on the plane? How do you maximize your rest?
Well, I mean, it's quite a long flight going out west, and so we try to get a little bit of sleep. I try to get a little bit of sleep, and then I get up and get treatment on the plane, and just give my body as much treatment as I can on the plane, and so get a couple hours of rest. Obviously, it's going to be probably it won't be a long. It won't be easy for me to sleep tonight because I'm so still going on with the game and things of that nature, and my body not feeling as great, but I'll be fine tomorrow.
How did your approach to the game and your style of play evolve between the first final you played in and this one?
I stunk in the first finals. I don't stink anymore.
Last three. Robert, Michael here, and then on the left side.
Robert Littell, Black Sports Online. Kyrie was in here and he said that he always is looking at social media. He says he sees everything you've talked about a lot of times about how you're past that, you don't listen to critics and everything. Do you talk to your teammates when all of this stuff is kind of floating around about curses and Cavs in 7 tweets that kind of go viral on social media about kind of pushing that stuff away?
Nah, I don't see it. So I can't talk to my teammates about it because I don't see it. Unless one of the guys bring it to me either as a joke or something they want me to see. But I don't. It don't go. I don't have notifications on my phone. I don't have none of the apps on my phone right now, so I can't even click on it and accidentally click on. I don't get involved in that, man, because I'm like every other mention, when I play, and I don't like it, man, because people just be talking people talk crazy, man. I'm gonna leave it at that. So I know better.
On the left side on the second row, and then over here, Michael.
Hello, from LA Sports China. LeBron, tonight's game was so physical and also dramatic. How did you guys make it to focus on basketball and not to be distracted and especially keep the lead?
I mean, at the end of the day, the game is supposed to be played physically. And, it's both teams want to, put themselves in the record books, put themselves in basketball history. So you try to do whatever it takes to win, and I think both teams definitely, trying to do that from game to game.
Michael, last question over here.
LeBron, Michael Grange from Sportsnet in Toronto. Just your reaction to that first quarter, first half, both record-setting. I mean, you came within a free throw of 50 for a quarter and 80, whatever it was, at half. I mean, did you have a minute to think about what was going on?
No, you can't. Well, first of all, if you take a minute to see what's going on versus team, they hit you with a 50-point quarter. There's no, you can't. We were just playing in the moment, and we were just playing good basketball. We was in attack mode, and it results in us having 49. The reason we didn't hit 50 is because I can't shoot a free throw. So, but I'll be better in Game 5.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, LeBron.
Well, LeBron James made the grade. He talked about it earlier. A++ against the Golden State Warriors to beat them in this mode, and they did. So if you were expecting history at the Q, you got it. Just not what you might have expected, as the Warriors' perfect record takes a hit. And now we are back to 3-1 all over again. We welcome you to the post-game show, listening to LeBron James, Vince Cellini, Dennis Scott, and Brent Barry. And LeBron James making history in a game that was all about NBA Finals history, as he picks up his 9th Finals triple-double, and that puts him at the top of the list, passing the great Irvin Magic
That's special
Johnson.
right there, Vince.
All right, so he helped set the tone, but I want to get it from you. And Dennis, you said this in our preview show the night before, just how important it was for the Cavs to come out and make a first-quarter statement. Boy, did they.
They really did. 49 points was huge. Like LeBron said, if he could make a few free throws, they'd have got 50 points. But being able to bring that intensity, bring that focus, and never really letting Golden State get into their offense, being more physical without fouling, I think that was very key, because a lot of times fans get misunderstood when you say be physical, Brent, without fouling. I thought the Cavaliers did that tonight.
Do you think it was 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other 3D because of the idea for the mentality of both of the teams, right? You wanted, as the Cavs, you wanted to get a lead to make Golden State uncomfortable. I mean, it goes hand in hand. Just to finally have the Warriors play out of a deficit because they were great in Game 3 in this building where you expect the first time they would come in, maybe not be as sharp, but they were super laser focused on performing well in Game 3. The Cavs had that same kind of focus here in Game 4. They made it physical. They came at the Golden State Warriors. I really think the foul trouble for the Golden State Warriors threw them off.
That changed everything.
I do. You had Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala all picked up 2 personal fouls in that first quarter. It allowed Cleveland to get to the free throw line. It took the Warriors out of their rhythm, and I think it disrupted the defensive intensity that they wanted to play with for the rest of the game. Hats off to the Cavaliers and LeBron James. Another triple-double. I mean, the guy is an all-time great in showing up in the biggest moments once again.
Yeah, it was 10 years this month that he had been swept in his first NBA Finals. You know this very well.
Yes, he does.
I didn't think he stunk in that Finals.
No, you thought he was pretty good?
He was way better than I was. I've been in the league a couple years.
Now he becomes the 5th team to avoid that sweep down 3-0. And a big part of this as well was the three-point shooting for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Dennis, 53.3%. They were better from 3 than they were from the field.
Yeah, it's really amazing when you watch them shoot the basketball, especially when they're making shots off the dribble. Obviously, when Kyrie or LeBron is breaking down the defense, now the defense is thinking for him. Now look at LeBron wide open, have a cup of coffee, have a cup of tea, and knock down these shots. So, Brent, when you're breaking down the defense like this and you're sharing the basketball and guys are so wide open, they have to knock down these shots.
Well, just the numbers are mind-boggling in terms of what Cleveland did in this basketball game. 24 made threes, 46 made field goals. So that means more than half of their made field goals came from the three-point line. And then you go to the attempts. 45 attempts from 3. They had just set the record with 43, right, or 44.
Yep,
44.
And they had 87 attempts from the field. That means more than half of their shots from 3. So whatever is happening in this series, 3D, game to game, we are seeing history in one way or another, whether it's individual performances or team performances. And tonight, Cleveland put on one of the greatest scoring exhibitions in finals history, 137 points tonight. The most ever a team had scored when facing elimination in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, that is a Cavalier postseason franchise record.
Another
point total.
Another record.
I got a ton of them. What do you want? 86 points in the first half?
Beatles?
Yeah. I've got a lot of them, John. A lot of records. All right, we're going to hit the break. Just in time. We're going to go to commercial right now, but we'll be back. We'll have more player interviews on what was a wild night at Quicken Loans Arena here in Cleveland. Stay with us.
Game Time, live from the NBA Finals, is presented by State Farm. Here to help life go right.
Well, we are back. It was a manic night at Quicken Loans Arena in downtown Cleveland. The Cavaliers staying alive, and certainly public enemy number 1 here in this town is a man who wears 23 for the Golden State Warriors, Draymond Green, who had 2 technicals, then he had 1, but all night long he had the fans' chants ringing in his ears. This was Draymond post-game after a Warrior loss.
What's the explanation they gave you on the technicals?
I didn't get one. She told me to keep playing. As I asked, he told me to keep playing. Mark Davis. So, I don't know. It's crazy to think that he thought that was my second technical foul and I would get a technical foul for that. But whatever.
But you knew it wasn't your second technical.
Yeah, I knew. Because the first tech on Steve, which I didn't understand, Mike Callahan came up to John and asked him who was the tech on it. He said Kirk. So I knew I didn't have a technical foul, but still trying to figure out why did I get the second one.
You got to have a little fun with your fans.
Yeah.
Ray Charles music on you.
Yeah, they messed that one up bad. That was, I don't know, that was pretty bad.
What did you think of the way the game was called generally?
It's a little different, but it is what it is.
What got them going in the first quarter?
I mean, they were aggressive. You know, you got to give them some credit. They were very aggressive. But when everyone has 2 fouls, you know, it's hard to match the physicality. So, you know, we'll bounce back, though. At the end of the day, we didn't expect them to come out and lay down. They came out and did exactly what we thought they would do. I can't foresee them coming to Oracle and hitting 24 threes. So, nonetheless, they hit all those threes, and we never felt like we were out the game. You know, we continued to push right there. A couple shots dropped. You know, maybe the game turned. So, we'll be fine.
All the altercations, do you think the game got out of hand? Did it feel that way?
Maybe a little bit. I think it did a little bit, but, you know, as we've all said, as the longer the series go on, the more stuff like that happens.
What do you think about Kevin and LeBron getting into it? You seem to be...
I think it's good for basketball. I don't really understand the double tech. Like, what does that accomplish? I don't know, like... If you're going to separate them, separate them. Don't stand there and look at them talk and then, like, wait for them to talk and wait and see how long they're going to talk and then double take them. Just tell them to move. I don't really know what that accomplishes.
What was it about?
Just good basketball conversation. Nothing too crazy.
Obviously a little different circumstance last year when it was 3-1 because you didn't play in Game 5.
Yeah, thank God I get to play on Monday. Hopefully.
Even if it was only 1 technical, not 2, you had this run without picking up any techs or flagrants in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy. It just happened now. I ain't even been in nobody's face. I've been getting texts. Hey, some things just never change, right?
You haven't been feeling more agitated, or as kind of the pressure of the series ramps up, you get deeper in there, has anything?
No. I just try to play basketball, you know, and I tell you, ain't no tech gonna stop me from being me. And I mean, at least if I'm gonna get them, I think I should, like, let me earn them. You know, like, let me get my money's worth if I'm gonna get some techs. But hey, it's the day and age we live in. That's what it is.
Did you notice that the scores table didn't announce that tech wasn't on you? They said the second tech was on you, then they didn't correct.
No, I don't really pay that much attention. I don't pay much attention to anybody in Cleveland, honestly. Don't seem to be the sharpest people around, so that's, yeah, whatever.
When you saw the scoreboard at halftime, what came to mind?
That they're playing amazing. We're only down 18 points, and you know, we can cover 18 points, and we just need to get some stops. 86 points is a lot of points, and, you know, 68 is more than enough to, you know, be winning the game. But you give up 86. 14 away from 100 at half, like that's a bit shocking. So, but yet we still thought, like, hey, we're right here. We probably should be down 30. Yet we're down 18. Let's come out and make a push. And I think we did that. Just every time we made a push, they would hit a timely shot. And they were tough. You know, it wasn't, you know, we got to 11, and Kyrie hit like the toughest 3 I've seen all year. So, you know, it happens. It is what it is.
And disappointment not
Whoa, easy, partner. Easy, partner. I know you're from Cleveland. I know Draymond's never met you before or hadn't talked to you personally, so I know you're sharp, partner. You're pretty sharp.
I just want to say this.
All right?
Really?
You okay? You okay?
Literally,
sharp.
I will.
All right.
I'll just say this. Literally 5 to 10 minutes from this arena, you're surrounded by tremendous culture, medicine, education, arts. It's all over. So just letting you know that.
Yes, you're
little
okay,
from
partner.
the Board of Tourism here in Cleveland, Ohio. But that's fine. I mean, and I think it's all part of the kind of back and forth that's been going on here. But Bones, did it get out of hand in this game 4 at times?
Yeah,
or was it borderline?
Well, the referees have a lot to answer to in this basketball game, especially what happened in the third quarter. 3D. That's just not as professional as the referees have been, especially up until this game. You really haven't talked about poor calls by the referees or them controlling the game or dictating the fate of a team with foul trouble. But in this game, the maladroitness of the NBA officiating crew is going to have to be addressed. There's absolutely going to be a statement from the referee association regarding how those technicals were divvied out, and from this point forward about making sure that the scorers table and the referees are on the same page, so that either team, the coaching staff that has the player with the technicals, which in this case would have been the Golden State Warriors, or the opponent, because we saw the reaction of both of the teams. The Warriors reacting as if, no, that's just his first technical, and then you saw Ty Lue and LeBron James saying, no, wait a minute, first half he had one. So the Referees Association will come out with a statement. Tomorrow we'll have better clarification, but the game got away from them. The game got ugly. The game got physical. The Warriors were not able to do anything to recover from that 3D, and it's an unfortunate blemish on this basketball game, especially with all the incredible offensive numbers that were happening around the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight.
Well, it was on the official box score that Draymond picked up that technical in the first quarter, and apparently Mike Callahan assessed it to Kerr early on, and so Callahan, Kerr, and Draymond all knew.
Well, it was Goebel that made the call. So, I mean, if we're clear on it, Vince, the play happened where there was a foul called on Draymond Green on the jump ball with Shumpert. Goebel went over to the scorer's table, made the call to the scorers to mark the personal foul. And then you saw replays from the ABC crew with Steve Kerr running off the bench, and Goebel points to Steve Kerr. Now, how it got miscommunicated from that point forward that the technical was on Kerr and not Draymond is what the referees will have to address, especially when it was, as you said, on the official box score at halftime.
Maybe the only way, because that was the same line of sight, and Draymond also reacted when he heard the team.
Right, yeah, I think the foul was being called on Draymond. I think the scores table assumed, without paying attention, what the referees were saying, that it was on Kerr, and I think that's what the misconstrued was.
Do you guys see any type of carryover now? I mean, is it or games sort of stand alone in terms of, you know, kind of how back and forth these two teams went?
Well, I think Cleveland understands you have to play the same intense you showed in this game like you should have showed all 3 games before that. So for me, the first quarter you set the tone with those 49 points. Brent, you hit around the head, but you bring the physicality so Golden State Warriors can get in foul trouble. But if you have too much space, you're not touching people, they don't feel like you're coming to steal a ball game. And I think that was the intensity early in the game.
And I like more the terminology of using the force that the Cavs came out with in this basketball game. We did not look at a lot of calculated isolation plays in the first half. We looked at hustle plays. We looked at tons of second possessions. You remember early on, Tristan Thompson with tip-outs led to a Kevin Love 3. LeBron James ended up getting a driving layup past Pachulia earlier on, and that all happened because hustle plays were there. Guys were moving to the right spots and not taking half a second to react to anything. A proactive night for them. Was that a hair product? A proactive night for them.
No, skin product.
I wasn't looking at you,
Skin
Vince.
product. Skin product.
Skin product.
Yes,
all right. Vince thought I was taking a shot at him. He's from Cleveland.
No, that's fine. I was just trying to process what you were saying. Listen, we're all trying to process what happened with Kyrie Irving in this game. He was spectacular. 40, dropping that in an elimination game. And we will hear from more of the players and coaches coming up on this post-game show in a moment. We are proactive indeed.
Hey, everybody. Finals. You know, guys gonna talk. We gonna respond, but you ain't about to punk us, not me. I ain't about to punk Tristan Thompson. You got the game with that. So you talk all you want. I'm gonna definitely bark back. That's just how it's built.
That's how Game 4 was. Guys in each other's faces throughout the night. Never stop, never settle. Presented by Hennessy. But through all the back and forth and the mayhem, and it was insane here at the Q, we had these records fall. 49 in the first quarter for the Cavs, most in finals history in a quarter. 86 at the half. Could have been more, really. The Cavs missed 9 free throws in the first half. Could have been over 90 points. 154 combined for both teams, and of course the 24 three-pointers made. So the Warriors come in here looking to get champagne all over that visiting locker room and go to 16-0.
Who is that? Is that? Oh, that's Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, D-Wade.
The tan and the shade of the hair.
Tristan Thompson coming alive. 11 rebounds coming in, 10 in this game, and then to LeBron James, who passes Michael Jordan for 3rd in finals history scoring.
And you credit both Cleveland for being active early on, and Golden State, you got to talk about 3D, them coming out and being a little bit asleep. There were a lot of possessions where Cleveland was getting things easy, and then if that didn't work, they got to the second option.
And how about Kevin Love coming alive in that first quarter
he
as
came
well?
alive. I give Ty Lue credit. We know we've been seeing a lot of one-on-one, but I thought the Cavs ran more sets tonight and shared the basketball perfectly.
Yeah, this was pass and cut basketball, Vince. You had talked about it last night and yesterday while we were examining Game 3. The Cleveland Cavaliers got the ball movement, and again, secondary plays and trying to get on the deck. Golden State would have to respond in the second. KD would try to keep it close.
KD had some unbelievable plays, including that one right there. It was 54-43, though. Cleveland in front. And then Kyrie Irving, 28 in the first half. Tristan hands off to him, and then what?
Yeah, splash, big-time 3, 0-7 from three-point land in Game 3. Now he comes out tonight. I think he mixed it up enough of attacking the paint along with looking for his three-point shot.
More of Kyrie, puts it on the deck, gets to the rim, left hand and in, and the foul. 86 points at the break, as we said. The Cavaliers out in front, 86-68. And then finals moment alert. LeBron off glass.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Slams.
Just a remarkable read by LeBron. Nowhere to go. Throws it to himself up off the glass, and it was so special because he dunked it over
his own teammate.
2 guys. One of them was his teammate underneath. But what a play in Game 4. A huge moment.
He got himself out of a tremendous jam with that play, and then Kevin Durant drives, fouled by Kevin Love. And now it's getting a little testy, really testy. Durant and LeBron are actually going to go nose to nose. Durant and LeBron, aren't these guys buds?
Yeah, they're buds, but right now, one's saying, look, you're trying to get my ring. What you talking about? You're not going to come to my building, drink champagne, and get no ring yet. Let's fight this out. Let's battle this out.
Love it, love it. The referees review it. It's a flagrant 1 for Kevin Love, but this went on for a while. I mean, these guys were nose to nose. And then the Cavs, they get hot from deep. That was a big part of the story in this one. Kyle Korver hits. That was his only basket of the game. And LeBron steps back, buries another 3. Finished with 31, 10, and 11. Another triple-double. The Warriors, though, they don't go away. They keep playing and playing hard. Klay Thompson for 3.
Yeah, McCaw made a 3 before that, came in, gave some opening minutes where Warrior fans were saying, all right, just a little burst before we get Curry and Durant back in, but Kyrie wasn't having it. A 3 there, then LeBron up top of the key working on KD, the long jumper on the way. That's good. They just shot the ball unbelievably well, Vince.
And more of Kyrie Irving, difficult, leaning three-pointer over McCaw.
That was the one, Vince. He said, let me feel good about myself. Let me get to my spot. And, boy, that was huge.
And the Cavaliers, 137. That's the highest scoring effort in this final so far. It's a franchise postseason record for this team. They put the skids on that perfect run for Golden State. LeBron, a 9th finals triple-double. That is a record. And it is 3-1 again, folks. We're back in that same position. They play on Monday at Golden State. We'll be back with more of the postgame show in a moment. Some moments in time in this game, highlighting the Cavaliers.
Live from the NBA Finals is presented by State Farm. Here to help life go right.
Boy, if you liked it in real time, you'll love it on Finals Film Room. It offering an in-depth look at each game of the NBA Finals. Rick Hamlet, Greg Anthony, Mike Fratello, Stu Jackson break down Game 4, premiering Saturday at 9 Eastern, only on NBA TV. Wear a cup if you're going to watch this. That's good advice. Let's take a look at this play. Speaking of which, this is when Zaza Pachulia and Kyle Korver get tangled up. This was absolutely ring mania. It was WWE stuff.
Korver with the takedown. Pachulia hits the ground, and then Shumpert gets in there. I couldn't believe what transpired on this play. But, you know, one of the things that hurts this 3D is the fact that we go to these slow-mo replays, right?
Yeah,
we get to see.
Well, the overhead really shows it.
Yeah, but every scratch and claw and bump on those plays, and then everybody can react to every portion of contact that happens during the play.
Yeah, it was on the Jumbotron, and the crowd was going crazy inside the cube tonight because each frame by frame it looked worse and worse, and I guess Zaza didn't connect all the way.
Is that why it was just technicals for Ahmad Shumpert and Zaza Pachulia?
Yeah, I think when they went and looked at it, they saw just a lot of pushing and scratching, hooking, and all that kind of stuff, but nothing really
came up in the.
Yes.
Right in the Pachulias.
Yeah,
One other thing I want to ask Joe Borgia, we don't have Joe Borgia on tonight, but I want to ask him if it's common practice for the referees not to go to the replay center all the time to watch multiple slow motion angles of the play that just happened, but to actually watch it in real time. If that's a protocol for them? Do they watch the first time in real time to assess what happens? Because all the scrum afterwards, 3D, and all, like, again, the slow-mo replays show a lot more. In real time, what their natural inclination would be, I wonder. So maybe we'll talk to Joe when we get him on for Game 5.
Yeah, that's you know, one of the things that the moments in time that are going to come out of this game particularly. But you know, I guess I'll ask you, as we're getting close to the end here, look, the Cavs were unbelievable tonight, but can they bring it even anything close to that as they hit the Game 5 on the road? And if so, how?
They have to, Vince. The question is, like Draymond, we're all going to say, I doubt they make 24 threes out in Oracle, but the same intensity, great word, the same force, taking the Warriors out of their comfort zone, you have to do that on the road to give yourself a chance to win. Secondly, I don't think we mentioned yet, Ty Lue was excellent tonight out of timeouts, calling plays, getting good sets, and getting good shots. I thought that was huge tonight to keep them run going.
Just going inside the psyche of the team right now, Vince, and I'm thinking as a player just how rewarding it is to sit in my locker chair, to see the media come in, to be able to answer questions where we can talk to you about the things that we did really well, and that I don't have to say it wasn't enough. It was more than enough. And I think that just having that sort of simmering feeling for you for tonight, for tomorrow on the flight, gives you the hope. And you've got to have that when you're in this kind of situation, especially against Golden State. It took history to break history tonight. And that's what Cleveland offered up. But just the feeling as a player, you've got to have a reestablished confidence that you're capable.
It was interesting. The Splash Brothers combined for 8 field goals made. That's one less than Kevin Durant. They won't shoot like that at home.
We have a bigger number, right? We have a bigger number for tonight?
Yeah, but
what's the bigger number?
Well, the bigger number is your birthday. It's past 12 o'clock. That's a bigger number. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Vince Cellini,
the Godfather.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, look. Cannolis.
Cannolis.
My favorite.
Not your favorite.
Thanks, gentlemen. I appreciate that.
Yes, of course.
You know what? It was a great day and a great night.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Happy
3-1.
birthday, Vince.
3-1.
We've heard that before.
Does it matter? Is it different? How does it factor in this time?
Draymond playing Game 5 and Kevin Durant's playing Game 5.
It's the same number, but it's much different, Vince.
Okay. I'm going to have a cannoli.
You're going to have a cannoli.
You at home, you have whatever you'd like. That's going to do it for the post game. It's off.
We're going back to Cali.
So long, everybody.
The enemy celebrate on their home floor.
I got a long way to go, got a long memory. I've been searching for an answer, always just out of reach.
James drives, scoop layup, pass to himself, and he throws it down. Irving for 3. He's a scoring machine. Cleveland is still alive as Golden State's quest for playoff perfection comes to an end tonight.